Hey BookTube, it's Kim at Middle of the Bookmarch, and this is my Bookish week for Sunday, July 28th. Yeah, I got it. And I didn't finish anything this week. I do have several books to show you in one way or another. And I know that so many of my viewers and subscribers and other booktubers and anybody who has ever commented love cats. You are cat owners, you are cat parents, and I need some feline advice, and I will ask you that at the end of the video. So if you're interested in giving me feline advice, let me know. Stay watching, and it's not really a ploy to get you to watch the whole video, but I really do need some advice. So anyway, let me show you about the books I'm currently reading and almost finished. And then I have two buddy reads coming up on August 1st, two phenomenal buddy reads with some phenomenal people. So I'll tell you about those. This one I'm currently reading is The Wall by Marlon Haushofer. And this is translated by Sean Whiteside. This is German, translated from the German, The Wall. And this is the story of a woman who goes kind of on a retreat with two friends of hers, a married couple. They go to a hunting lodge, and the couple goes into town one early evening, never returns. And she is left in the hunting lodge, waking up the next morning, trying to figure out where her friends are, and walks out into the woods with their dog and realizes there is an invisible wall surrounding the hunting lodge and many other areas of the woods. And she walks the entire thing and realizes what in the world just happened. So that's what that book is about. Not a spoiler, it happens very early in the beginning of the book. I am also listening to a book that I'm going to show you on my Kindle. This is Sociopath by Patrick Gagne. Patrick Gagne is a PhD. I believe she has a PhD in psychology. And this is her memoir about being diagnosed as a sociopath. The topic is fascinating. I will tell you more about what I think of the book next weekend after I finish it. She does have some other YouTube videos and some other interviews that you can find online with her, and talking about her life, her diagnosis, what it means to be a sociopath. That part is really interesting. So I have a lot more to say about this. And if you can see, that's her as a child. If you can see kind of the look in her eyes, it's a little creepy. So yeah, I'll have more to say on that book. And I'm listening to that on audio, and she does narrate the book. So and it's a good audio. Again, I'll have more to say about that next weekend. And I am reading The Hunter by Tana French. This is a buddy read with my friend Judy Brown. And we are 2/3 of the way through the book, and we'll probably finish it by Tuesday. And I'll have a review of this next weekend as well. This is the second in the Cal Hooper series, which started with The Searcher. And you would have to read The Searcher before you read The Hunter, or else a lot of the things in this book would not really make a lot of sense. So Tana French is the Dublin Murder Squad. You don't really have to read in order. These you do. And the Dublin Murder Squad makes more sense if you read them in order, but it's not mandatory. You will more than understand each of those books if you don't read them in order. This one, not the case. And now I have two phenomenal buddy reads coming up in August. I also do have a couple of other books that I want to read in August, but those don't start any particular time. These two are starting on August 1st. I am going to be reading James by Percival Everett with my friend Erin from Erin Go Live. I can't wait. And this is going to be my first buddy read with Erin, even though we've talked extensively. But yeah, we're going to read James together because we both just couldn't wait to read this. And I said, if you're interested in a buddy read, let's do this together. And I can't wait for this one. And as I've said before, I am reading The Stand by Stephen King with Pat from Book Chat with Pat. We, again, our first buddy read together, and I can't wait to read this with Pat. This is a huge book. This particular copy has 1,152 pages. And Pat is going to be taking a trip in September, early September. So we're going to see how much of this we can finish and how long it's going to take us. This book, I think, has 78 pages. But I think Pat kind of mapped it out, and I looked at my copy. For whatever reason, Stephen King wrote a bunch of short chapters, but then there are other chapters that are 40 and 50 pages. I don't know about you, but I actually really hate chapters that long. Why would you need a chapter that's 40 or 50 pages? I don't get that. I'm hoping that those super long chapters contain a lot of action, because that's almost the only way that's going to keep me reading that. And I hope there are at least some chapter breaks that I can stop at. I've always thought that writers need to understand that readers kind of need a breaking point. And this is going to sound really ironic, because I've read plenty of books, and The Wall is one of them. There are no chapters, and it's just a continuous flow of narrative. But that's a short book. And Milkman was the same way, and Ducks Newburyport is the same way. It's a consistent flow of narrative. There are no chapters, very few chapter breaks, if any. And I enjoyed books like that. This one, I'm not sure. I think it's the combination of short and long chapters, and Tana French's The Hunters is also similar to that. She starts off that book with a lot of long chapters, and they're not as long as 40 or 50 pages. But then the chapters get shorter, I think, as the action speeds up. So I'm not sure why that type of format, but I didn't write the book, so I don't know. Okay, so those are the books that I'm either currently reading or will be starting on August 1st. Now, here's the part where I need some feline advice. So if you're welcome to leave at this point. Thank you so much for watching. But if you have cats and you're willing to listen to me for another few minutes, I really do have a question. All right, this is who I believe is the culprit. My other cat is somewhere sleeping, but that's Chowder, the all-white cat. Here's my robot litter box. And as you can see, I've had to put some puppy pads underneath the litter box itself and right in front. The one underneath the litter box is because, as fancy as this thing is, it tends to leak because it's a big, I don't know what you would call that. It's like a big round tube. And that's the bag compartment where all the poop goes. But this whole thing, when it cleans itself, it rotates. And sometimes, I don't know why, I don't know, if I'm not cleaning it often enough, but it can leak. So I want to make sure my floor doesn't get destroyed. But this one is because the little goober, I believe, will pee and poop right outside the litter box. And the way this works is it cleans itself. So the cat goes in, does its thing, and I have it timed so that 2 minutes later, it'll clean itself. And it weighs the cats, so it knows when a cat goes in and it knows when a cat comes out. It's also really handy for me to keep track of how much they weigh and if they're gaining or losing weight. But he will pee and poop right there. And not both at the same time, but I'm replacing that maybe every couple of days. And the litter box gets cleaned. It cleans itself, it removes the waste and stores it. So this doesn't really ever smell. But I actually empty the used litter out of the bag, and I kind of clean the thing usually once a week. So it's the weekend I'm going to clean it. So it's not really ever gross. I don't really know why he's peeing and pooping right there. And it's one robot box for 2 cats. I used to have 3 regular litter boxes for 2 cats because it's really good for cleanliness to have extras. But we trained them over 2 weeks when I switched over to the robot, and they seemed to use it just fine until recently. They're both seniors, probably, 16 and 17 at this point, or that's what we were told when we adopted them. And when we adopted them, we were given paperwork that said one of them was 11, one of them was 12. I think Chowder is the older one, not sure. So they're 16 and 17 as far as their paperwork goes. If anybody has any advice on this, I would really appreciate it. I really don't want to dispose of the robot and go back to manual litter boxes, but I can't figure out what the heck he's thinking. And actually, I'm about 85% sure it's him, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm actually thinking of putting a Ring camera up next to the litter box. How crazy is that? So there you have it. This robot litter box was not cheap, so I really want to continue to use it, but I'm also thinking maybe I should go back to just a regular litter box, maybe a really high-walled litter box or something a little fancier than just a plastic tub on the floor. If you have any advice for me, I would really appreciate it. And thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye.